How to start building confidence and self-esteem in less than 24 hours. So a lot of times people give a good advice on this subject, but sometimes the advice can take months and months or years to even put into effect. So what is confidence and self-esteem in the first place? Normally when we talk about self-esteem, we mean it from a level of our internal worth. You know, those emotions and those feelings that we think about ourselves. How do we feel about ourselves? How do we think about ourselves internally? The belief in ourselves. Do we feel we are worthy of love? Do we feel we are worthy of good things, of a good life? So it has to do with your self-worth. That's when we talk about self-esteem. A lot of times that's what we often mean is how you feel about yourself. So when we say confidence, and a lot of times they go hand in hand, but when we talk about confidence, often we mean the level of knowledge and skills one has. Confidence a lot of times is related to aspects of your life you can control. For example, if you were to ask me to go play golf, my confidence in that would be low. I could probably try to do it still, but my confidence is low. Why? Because I don't have a lot of knowledge about golf. So I haven't put in much effort or time into it to even build up my abilities, to build up my skills, because I've never done it before. So self-esteem is kind of more internally, whereas confidence is internal also, but it's also directed towards external things, your knowledge about stuff and your skill set in particular different areas of life. So the first thing a person can begin to do to start building self-esteem and confidence in 24 hours is to take action. This is probably the most important one on the list. It's actions. You validate yourself through positive actions. That's it. A lot of people, they try to seek external validation. They need other people to validate them. And if they don't get that, then they have low self-esteem. They have low confidence. The goal is to be able to put the efforts and actions in every day so that you develop your own confidence. You develop your self-esteem based off your actions, based off the efforts that you put in every day. You don't need to go externally to get it. You don't need anybody else to tell you about it or to validate it for you. You do it yourself. Like a lot of times people, they need the results to validate themselves. It's not about the results. It's more about you being invested in the process. If you can become a person who respects the process, you take pride in the process every day, the results will eventually come. It may be a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, a couple years from now. But if you take pride in investing in doing the work every day, taking the actions every day that will move the needle in your life, no matter what area of life it's in, eventually the results will manifest. A lot of times that's why people give up or they just default back to low confidence and self-esteem because the results don't come fast enough and they don't understand that you have to stay invested in the process and the actions and efforts long enough for the results to happen. So this thing that you can do in 24 hours is going to be, you're going to write out a list of things tomorrow that you can do or within the next 24 hours of the person you want to become. If I say 24 hours from now, what is a good day for me? You have to create a day that you will be proud of. By the time you go to sleep, you can say, all these different areas of my life, I created a day that I was proud of. That's where your boost of confidence and self-esteem will begin to develop, by creating days that you're proud of. It doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight, the results and all that stuff, as we already talked about. But you can say, I took these actions every day. So that's what I want you to do is get a journal. I have a journal and I do mine in a journal. You can do it in your phone, however you want to do. I like it in a journal because I can write down the date it is, most importantly, and then I can write down these list of things. So what areas of your life you need it in? Some people may have a healthy body and they need confidence and self-esteem in this other area of life. Everybody's different as far as what they need. You know what you need in your life that's going to start making you happy. Like one of my areas was my body and my self-esteem with my body and stuff like that. I had gotten way overweight. You know, I began to disrespect myself, disrespect my body. And I have already lost 40 pounds this year. I'm not quite where I want to be yet, but I have begun to take the steps every day. And now my confidence is boosted up, my self-esteem. I stopped negotiating with myself. I can say I'm somebody who works out 80-90% of the time. Most days I work out. Same with food-wise. I can say most of the time I eat healthy. All this different stuff that can cause you health problems long term. So I can say, do I still indulge here and there? Yes, I do. But I can say I take the actions most of the time that are in alignment with me saying I'm a healthy person or I'm on the verge of becoming a healthy person. So just whatever area of your life is, it's not just we don't want to, you want to be hitting all areas of life that's important. With your kids, with your loved ones, how can I be the most present today? How can I pour positive emotions into my people I love today? How can I make them have a good day? So you want to start hitting all areas of life, not just one area. You want to combine everything. If it's business or sales or financials, write out the thing. What do I need to do? What's the most important thing I need to do tomorrow to start working towards bettering my finances, bettering my business ideas, becoming a better employee, whatever it is. So you are going to have this detailed list of things you can do tomorrow. Sometimes it may be like 10 or 12 things that are the most important things. You don't want to overdo it, but find a balance. Stuff you can do tomorrow that's in alignment with the person you want to become. And a lot of times you have to add some difficult things in there. The sense of accomplishment you get from doing difficult things every day is second to none. When I can say, like for me, one of mine is if I can wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. and get my day started, get a couple hours of my personal stuff done before the day really starts, that's a win for me. And is it comfortable? No. When my alarm goes off at 3 a.m., it's never just so comfortable, oh, I just want to get up. But if you make yourself get up and then you feel a lot more accomplished when you get those 2 hours of work done. I've already gotten a little workout done and 2 hours of work in, a little bit of reading, a little bit of journaling, praying, meditating, that type of stuff. I've already gotten that in by 7, 8 a.m. by the time most people are just waking up. And what is that? That boosts my self-esteem, that boosts my confidence. I'm moving the needle towards things that are important to me, things that are a better version of myself. I'm putting the time and effort into becoming a better version of myself. If you have had low confidence and low self-esteem for a long time, a lot of times it's because you are a procrastinator or you say one thing and do another. So with this list, be intentional with this list. This list will prove you aren't a procrastinator. You do stuff every day to move the needle. So I want you to come back to the comment section tomorrow or within 24 hours and say, hey, I did 10 of 12 things on this list. I did 15 of 20 things on my list I wrote down. And when you do accomplish those things, I want you to congratulate yourself. Give yourself a high five. Give yourself, a fist pump, whatever it is. But what you want to do is start validating your actions and your efforts. You want to start being someone who takes pride in getting things done. You don't need it external. So the ultimate goal is to start looking in the mirror and being proud of the person you're looking at. I used to look in the mirror and dislike myself so much, not just because of my physical looks, but just because I would say one thing and do another. I wasn't taking the actions every day to move the needle in my life. I had goals and aspirations, but I wasn't taking the actions. And when you don't take the actions, you end up lowering your self-esteem and confidence. You start having all this negative self-talk. You start having all these self-sabotaging behaviors. Another quote I like is, having high self-esteem is being comfortable with the shadow that's following you around all day. So start taking actions that's going to make you proud of your shadow. You're proud of the person you carry around all day. I know for many years in my life, I wasn't proud of the person I was carrying around all day. I wasn't proud of my actions. I wasn't proud of my behaviors. Your life starts to change when you make the switch. When you have these undeniable actions that prove you are becoming the person you want to become. You aren't just talking about it. You aren't just saying affirmations in the mirror. That's where a lot of people go wrong with affirmations. They just say the affirmations in the mirror. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. But it never makes it to their subconscious level. It doesn't really make it to their emotions because your brain can call you out on it. If your actions aren't in alignment with it, your brain calls you out on it. Your body calls you out on it. But once you start having these actions every day and these results that prove otherwise, your body has to start believing you. Your brain starts believing you. You have this undeniable actions that add up every day. And that's why I like to do it in my journal, because every day I can go back and say, 3 weeks from now, I can go back and look and see what I accomplished off my list for today. I can go back 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and see what I accomplished that day that made me move the needle, that worked towards becoming a better version of myself, that worked towards having days that I'm proud of. I can go back and see it. So that's what I want you to do. Get you a journal and start doing it daily and come back to the comment section. So a second way to boost confidence and self-esteem is stopping negative self-talk. We have thousands of thoughts every day. We have internal dialogue every single day. You have to start countering that negative self-talk. Stop internalizing those thoughts. You can't control the thoughts half the time, but you have to begin to start to control what you do with those thoughts. The goal is to stop becoming a sponge for negative thoughts. I try not to absorb a negative thought. Why would I absorb a negative thought that's going to make me feel bad about myself? I try to reflect it. You have to start to try to reflect it. You have to become aware of it first, but you have to stop the negative self-talk. If it's not empowering, stop telling yourself the thought. I don't care what it is. A lot of times you may have low self-esteem and confidence because maybe it's because what somebody else done to you. Maybe someone did something in your childhood. Maybe your partner or whatever, you're going through a divorce or a separation in a relationship. Maybe you got laid off at your job. Whatever it is in your life that has made you into a person that has low self-esteem and confidence, you have to realize you have to start changing the dialogue in your head, because that's what's going to make you be able to do these positive actions. Even with the list you're going to make within the next 24 hours, you may not even do everything on the list. You may only do, say you do 10 of 12 things. And those 2 things you don't do, your brain may say, look, see, you can't even do these 12 things. You have to be aware of it. So if you don't do everything on the list, it's okay. Just be mindful of it and try to knock it off tomorrow. Don't let the self-talk, it'll say, oh, see, you're a hypocrite. Your mind will play all these tricks on you. You're a hypocrite. Just go back to doing whatever you were doing. Just go back to being the old version of you. You have to recognize it, be aware of it, and make the changes, right? So your brain and your mind may say, see, you're fake. See, you can't do it. You can't stay consistent. You have to, don't internalize it. If you don't accomplish everything, it's okay. If you can get 80, 90%, 75% of your list done, that's still a win. That's still a win. If you got only 3 things, if you only got 25% done the day before, so you may be coming from a lifestyle where you weren't getting anything. You may had a 0% where you weren't doing anything you wanted to be doing. So if you can just start building every day, build that momentum, be aware of the self-talk. Don't let your internal thoughts or external people lower your self-esteem and confidence. Start building it up, start having that positive self-talk. So that's the second thing that you can do to start boosting your confidence in a short amount of time, is be mindful of how you speak to yourself. Be mindful of the thoughts you entertain in your own head. Like I said, if it's not empowering, then stop internalizing it. Stop embodying these negative thoughts and these negative emotions. If it's not positive, I'd try not to entertain it. Why would I entertain a thought that's going to make me feel bad, that's going to release these negative hormones and these negative neurotransmitters and stuff like that, release this cortisol, this stress into my body? Stop doing it. So the third thing one can begin to do to raise their self-esteem and confidence fast is be authentic and truthful to yourself. I was listening to a summary of this book one time, and it was talking about lying of any kind lowers your self-esteem. Anytime you have to lie to someone, you reinforce feelings of inadequacy about yourself. So you reinforce feelings of not feeling good about yourself, not having belief in yourself, not having self-love, not having self-respect, all this different stuff. If you lie about who you are, then you reinforce negative feelings about yourself. And this is something I struggle with. I used to do this all the time. I used to meet strangers. Like, I would meet a complete stranger and they would say something and I would find myself lying just to maybe resonate with the person, just to make myself look or sound better than I actually was. And I had to dig deep and soul search. And actually, as I got down to these core of all these different behaviors in my life, I had to realize that, like, your self-esteem is so low that you meet a complete stranger and you just lie for no reason. You don't have to lie. Like, you may not even ever talk to this person again, but you're lying. Like, you have to stop doing that. You have to start catching yourself and just being mindful of any time you're engaged in dialogue with somebody and you want to start lying. That's why I'm so big on vulnerability, because I understand how it was a problem for my life in the past. Like, we're not perfect. We never will be. But you can start taking actions every day to become a better person and have high confidence and self-esteem. But you don't have to lie to anybody. You don't have to. If you're not where you want to be in life, that's okay. If you're working on this thing in life, that's okay. Nobody's perfect. But don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to other people. Just start working on being authentic and being truthful. Always tell the truth. If you can learn to always tell the truth and be vulnerable and be authentic, then who can stop you? No one can stop you, really. So the fourth way to start raising self-esteem and confidence is contribution. So you want to start contributing to other people's lives, helping the world out. I'm sure there's some things you're passionate about in your life that you know you're passionate about and you want to make a difference in the world, but you don't take the actions on doing it. A lot of times people just, oh, I just got to work on myself. I just got to work on myself. That's true to an extent. But if you want to raise your self-esteem and confidence, start helping other people when you can. I'm not saying overextend yourself or pour into other people's cups so much that you don't have anything to pour into your own, but start volunteering. Like something I do every week is I volunteer with a nonprofit organization, and we help at-risk teens kind of transition from being a juvenile to adulthood. So sometimes we go in juvenile facilities, we work with foster facilities, we work with all these different kids from different backgrounds who maybe they don't have positive male role models at home, maybe they don't even have parents at home. Like I said, a lot of times they come from foster facilities. And I'm passionate about working with at-risk youth. That's something I stand for. I believe there aren't enough people who really care about making a difference in the community. So, and it begins to be a double positive. Like I get a boost in self-esteem and confidence because I keep my word to myself that I go help people. Like nobody can take that from me. No one can take that from me. I don't care what anybody says. I do it because I'm passionate about it, and I do it because I want to help people. I want to prevent teens from going down that rough path in life I went down as an early adult. So if I can contribute to that, I will, and I like to be consistent with it. So you have to find out whatever it is that you're passionate about. It may be feeding the homeless. It may be getting involved with the youth program. If you're women, it may be helping women who have been through abuse or women who have been through this thing or that thing. Like whatever it is, you know what it is. It's going to be different for everybody, but whatever it is, start contributing. Start looking up on your phone and see, okay, where is a program near me in my vicinity that I can go call and contact about volunteering. A lot of people, like they say they want to do this or that, and then they act like they're too busy to do it. You're not too busy to do it. Start sacrificing. You got to start. I'm sure there's a Netflix series or there's some type of TV show or basketball game or football game, whatever it is you watch, video game. There's something you can cut out your life and start doing 1 hour a week. You don't have to do 1 hour a day, or you don't have to do 30 minutes every day. You may have, like my thing, I commit to 1 hour a week. That's what I try to commit to. But for you, it may have to be something bi-weekly. Or even if you have kids, like having kids isn't an excuse. I go do stuff with my kids sometimes. My son, he's just now about to be 6 years old. He was like, Dad, are we going to go help people today? And are we going to go give out food today? That's a very the warm feeling you get from knowing the actions you're taking and your kids see it, and then you actually start to embody that character in them to where they inquire about it on their own. They realize they get some benefit out of going to help people. They realize they can help people who are less fortunate. That's one of the best feelings in the world, when you lead by example and then your kids start to take on that also. But watch how you feel once you start volunteering. Like I said, it's like a double win because you help yourself. You build self-esteem and confidence by making a difference in the world, and then the people you help. Sometimes the people you help, the kids we go see, sometimes they light up. They want to talk to you. They want to ask how your week was. They appreciate something you taught them the week before, or something that we brought that made a difference in their life. Like I said, that feels good. That's a double win. We need more volunteers in the community. We need more people are just so self-centered nowadays in life. Like, it only probably get worse with technology. As technology becomes more addictive, as all these TV shows, all this different stuff on these phones, I encourage everybody, you should be volunteering at least once a week or bi-weekly or something. At least, once a month is something you're passionate about, something that can make a difference in somebody's life. I believe everybody can do that. It's bigger than a lot of times ourselves. So those are the 4 ways I wanted to talk about today that can help you start boosting your confidence and self-esteem now. You can start to go do these things today. Like I said, come back to the comment section and put how many things on your list, what percentage of things you accomplished, and tell me how you feel about it. Did you reward yourself? Did you give yourself that high five? Tell me how you feel within 24 hours. Like I said, the results aren't overnight. It's about building that character, that you keep your word to yourself. You say you're going to do something and you do it. A lot of times my self-esteem was so low because, like I said, I would want to do things, but then I would somewhere within the action process, I wouldn't do it. I would procrastinate. I would distract myself. I would avoid things or whatever. My life really began to change when I started taking the actions, checking things off the list every day. So I hope you can do the same. Like the video if you got any value from it. Subscribe to become a part of the vulnerable tribe. On this channel, we will talking about all aspects of life, how we can help ourselves, how we can help other people. Click the video on the screen because that's the one YouTube thanks you to watch next. Take care.